Hello everyone, my name is Leon, and welcome to my first ever RTX 5090 Cachy OS via Arch Linux, benchmark video. Today I'm showing what's possible with Arch Linux and just Linux gaming in general on a very popular title, especially in 2026, which is Arc Raiders. Now recently, I have decided to move over to Linux, and this is due to many reasons. But my biggest one was I was very irritated with my girlfriend's PC just completely failing to boot after the January 2026 security patch that was issued by Microsoft. Microsoft released a patch that quite literally would not allow my girlfriend's PC to boot. Or if it could boot, it only lasted for about 5 to 10 minutes before it would completely shut down. Sounds like a hardware issue, right? Well, I thought so too, until I moved over to Zorin OS. After moving to Zorin OS for my girlfriend's computer, it has lasted for about 4 days now without a single shutdown, and she's able to play all the games and use all the applications that she was able to use on a home computer. Therefore, we decided to not go back to Windows, and I also decided to take the plunge. And yes, I fell right into the deep end with Arch Linux via Cachy OS. And just to show off my specs and the current version of Cachy OS, you can go ahead and see it here. You can see that I have a RTX 5090 with a AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D. Now, this is considered a top-of-the-line computer, so this is going to be best-case scenario. However, you can imagine with your own hardware, whether it be an RTX 2000 series, 3000 series, 4000 series, or the lower-end 5000 series, you can kind of get a rough estimate of what your performance is going to look like if you were to move over to something like Cachy OS. Now, Linux gaming is still very much in development. It is currently running under the Proton layer. And I won't go over much in detail with this because, quite honestly, there's a lot of other YouTubers that do it way better than me. However, just understand that this is kind of like a little bit like an emulation layer. However, it's really just calling on some dynamic libraries in the background, the same that Microsoft would, especially when it comes down to graphics. Now, when it comes down to DLSS, provided by NVIDIA, Cachy OS supports this very, very well. And inherited in the driver, we can see that we have performance, we have quality, we have some balance settings, but we also have auto, which will auto upscale depending on its needs. Now, if you ever see in the video DLAA, this means that we are currently using the AI upscaler. However, it is barely being used, if at all. So this means that the game is going to be essentially running at 100% native resolution. Also further in the video, I show off some frame generation. Now, if you watched a previous video of mine called Lossless Scaling and how you could literally buy FPS, this is using the same type of technology. However, inside of Arc Raiders, at least on Cachy OS, there is a noticeable, and I mean absolutely noticeable, input lag. So it's not feasible to run any kind of frame generation on this game, especially when you're using something like Cachy OS. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into the video. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Feel free to leave a comment. I'm really proud to be a part of the Linux community, and I'm pretty happy to get away from Microslop. Thank you.